You came into a dynasty. I don't like that word particularly, but you came into a very powerful newsroom. How did he treat you?
Oh my gosh. First off, he paved the way for me. And I understood when the opportunity came for me to follow him that it was going to be daunting. It was going to take some courage, and I was hoping that the viewers would be patient with me. Charlie made the transition easy for me. He took me under his wing. He took me out in the community with him and said, I want you to meet this young man. His name is David Crabtree, and he's going to be sitting where I've sat for the past 22 years. Be kind to him. I remember going to Farmers Market with Charlie. It was our first stop. And I heard him say over and over to people, give him a chance. Give him a chance. He's a nice young man. Now that was 30 years ago, 31 years ago this year. He made the transition into the newsroom palatable. It was a tough place to break into. You know, you were a part of it. I was viewed with suspicion. I wasn't homegrown. I wasn't on the farm team. I was a new guy from Denver. If it had not been for Charlie Gaddy, I would never have had whatever success I've been blessed to have here. Charlie made that possible.
One of the things, I was covering a Highway Patrol graduation, and I don't know who the keynote speaker was, but for whatever reason, it just stuck with me what he said, and it was, when you walk out of here with that uniform on, you're going to be shown respect. You did not earn that. That was earned before you. Uphold that. How hard was it to uphold that?
Wow, Keith. What a great question. I knew coming in that I had to uphold that. I've told Charlie this many times in the past, and I've talked about this before. I knew what Charlie handed me in that lead anchor role was a chunk of gold. And I could either hold it out in front of me and share it with the community and keep it polished and keep it clean, keep the dust off of it, or I could put it in a vault somewhere and protect it. And I thought, no, I'm going to keep it right in front of me all the time. And here's the way I was able to do this. This is what Charlie taught me from day one. Don't stay in the newsroom. Get out. Report on things in the community. Let people know you're more than a damn anchor, that you can go out and report, and that you want to learn about people and know about people, and don't spend all of your time in Raleigh. Don't spend all of your time at the legislative building. Don't spend all of your time with the pretty people. Go out in the community. Go to Warren County. Go to Smithfield. Go to Princeton. Go to Durham. Go to Asheboro. Go to Wilson. Stop and get a barbecue. If you have to eat 3 lunches to be with people, eat a little bit at a time. Go to Wilbur's. Go to Parker's. I mean, there are plenty of places. You understand what I'm saying. Get out there and let people know that you care about them. Yeah, cover the big stories, but go and find the guy who's a small business owner in a small town that trusts WRAL, that trust us, and let them know they matter. That lesson came from Charlie, and I never forgot that. I learned more about our market, particularly from here east, by listening to Charlie Gaddy than I ever would from anywhere else. And one of the key things, Keith, is people said, boy, those are people would say to me, man, those are big shoes to fill. And I said, no, 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 no. You never try to fill those shoes. Those were Charlie's shoes. I followed Charlie. I didn't replace him. And having that attitude helped. But the main road to success, to whatever degree I had, was paved absolutely by Charlie Gaddy, with him being gracious, with him being inclusive, with him being straightforward, with him being great sense of humor, but always being fair about it. Charlie also taught me this. You know, I've heard Charlie referred to as the Great White Father because of the great white hair he had, the Grand Poobah, the Walter Cronkite of North Carolina. I would disagree with that. Charlie was the Edward R. Murrow of North Carolina because they shared this. Charlie wasn't going to try to convince you what was true. Charlie said, give people the facts, give them the facts, and the people will decide what is true.
I know when Charlie left, he didn't really necessarily leave. we all heard from Charlie.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure you probably heard from Charlie more than most. Charlie had a way of telling you what he wanted to convey to you, but not telling you what to do. How helpful was that to you?
Well, it was very helpful because it showed such a human side of him. Charlie said to me the day he left, July 1st of 1994, I'm not coming back into that building for at least a year, maybe two, because it won't be fair to you, David, and it won't be fair to me. I'll miss it too much. I need the separation. Even then, we talked on the phone a little bit. You know, I would call Charlie, Keith, and say to him, you know, tell me how to handle the situation, personnel-wise, inside the newsroom. You know, Charlie left a big shadow and left a lot of residue when he left. People remember Charlie. And Keith, I know I'm jumping around here. My apologies for that, but I knew coming in, and I'll get back to your question, but this is really an important part of it. I knew when I came, people were going to say, he ain't no Charlie Gaddy. And they're right. I wasn't. I never tried to be. And Charlie kept saying, be yourself. Just be who you are. You're not me, you're David. You will create your own space here. And from time to time, he would call and say to me, how are you doing? You know, I hear things, I hear this. I know that it can be a tough place to break into. You just keep your head down, do your work, and you let people know you can be counted on. And never say no to an assignment. Take it, go with it, and that's what I tried to do. Charlie also, as big of a presence as he always was, he understood humility. Not an all shucks type thing, but he understood who he was. He respected the job he had, but he respected people. And he brought that humility with him. And that's a great lesson, that you learn a lesson like that by watching someone, not by saying you're going to do it. You know, everybody's talked about how funny Charlie was, what a dancer he was. I'm sure he and Nancy, just as soon as he got to the pearly gates, she was there waiting and they danced their way through. We all know those stories. One of the things that made Charlie, Charlie, is that he never lost his ability as a communicator. I shot an interview with him about a year ago for the North Carolina Broadcast History Museum project. This is a year ago. Charlie was 92. And he was frail walking into the room, took his time. We made sure the pathway was wide open for him. Whenever I saw Charlie, I would walk with him. He'd hold on to my arm and we'd walk, and what a tender moment that always was. But when he sat down in front of a camera, he was Charlie Gaddy. Away from the camera, he had one name. That was Charlie. When he leaned into an interview with you, he was Charlie Gaddy. His presence never faded. I remember one day at an event we had here, it took him a while to walk up to the podium. When he got there, it was like magic. It was like clouds parting, and just the sunshine came through of Charlie and that voice and his presence. Only people who have authenticity like Charlie had could ever be that. And the key to it is, Keith, yeah, Charlie knew he was good. He knew he was smart. He knew he was competent and capable, but I don't think he ever knew the true impact he had on so many people. So many people. He was like the Bill Friday of television. He had friends everywhere, thousands of friends. I was just privileged to be one of them. Well, you know, look, everybody around him, he made them feel like they were the only person there, right? He showed respect to every videographer he worked with. He showed respect to producers. He showed respect to reporters and his fellow anchors, the team on the desk. And at the same time, he could be tough. He could walk in and look at a script and say, what the hell is this? Why are we leading with this story? Okay? Because he cared about the newscast. And he had the moxie and the experience and the credibility and the authority to ask that question. And he needed to ask the question. And he would tell me, if you see something you think should be different in that newscast, speak up. If somebody gets their feelings hurt, they'll get over it. But you owe that to the viewer. This newscast isn't about all the young producers in the building. It's not about all the young editors in the building. It's not even about, at the time, John Green or Fred Barber or Tom Allen, and the list goes on and on. It's about the viewers. You're an advocate for the viewers. Don't ever forget that. So, you know, that's a part of Charlie a lot of people don't talk about at times. Because, you know, in death, we remember people larger than life, right? But Charlie was larger than life. But he made us better because he was no nonsense. I mean, who else, and I know it's been talked about a lot in previous newscasts, but why did Eddie Hatcher talk with Charlie Gaddy on live TV in a time when live TV was, I'm on a telephone with someone and he's holding people hostage with a shotgun at the Robinsonian? That was a remarkable moment in history, in broadcast history, and for the people of this community to understand who Charlie was. It also was a moment where Charlie understood the power of media if it's used for good. And he didn't know, Charlie and I talked about this a couple of years ago, he didn't know if Hatcher was going to pull that trigger and kill someone while he had him on the phone. Think of that. This is real stuff. We look back over this stuff now and say, wow, you know, hell, when you're in the moment of that happening, and the world could blow up right in front of you, and stay calm the way he did, man, that was something.
He's been out of the limelight for a long time. And unfortunately, there's a generation that doesn't remember him. 98% of the people in the building. But he still left a legacy. What's that legacy?
Here's his legacy to me. And this is some more of the advice he gave me. Never take yourself seriously. Take what you do very seriously. It will all end one day. This is a privilege to do what you do. There's so many people who have moved into this area since Charlie went off the air. They have no idea who Charlie Gaddy is. None at all. I hope they will realize the legacy of a man who helped shape the Triangle through his authenticity, through his honesty, through his caring about the community, through his love of life. But understood that life is a chapter. And in that chapter, there are seasons. And we go through many of them. For young people in this business, or some of the older ones in this business, I hope they will realize the type of North Star influence Charlie Gaddy had on this area. And that no one ever again would have a 54 share in the ratings. No one again would own the marketplace the way Charlie owned it. No one watches television that way anymore. It's all changed. It's all fractured. Yet in the midst of it, there are those of us who have cared so deeply about what we do that we want to live into that legacy that Charlie created for us. And one thing very important about it, Keith, not every market has a Charlie Gaddy. A few have had that. A few markets have had people who stayed on air the way Charlie did. Hell, I was in the anchor chair longer than Charlie, but my influence compared to Charlie's is like night and day. Oh, he was there in an era where people lived by appointment television and gathered around the television at 6 o'clock to find out what happened that day. And damn it, if Charlie Gaddy told you it happened, it happened.
How do you think this TV station would be different without his putting the cornerstone, putting the foundation there?
Wow. What a great question, because as you were asking it, I'm thinking, yes, the literal cornerstone here was laid by Mr. A.J. Fletcher, who had a vision for television and a knack for making money. Jim Goodman follows as Mr. Fletcher's grandson with this incredible vision for all things engineering and electronic and wanting to be the first to do it. Even when everyone's saying, why would you do that? Nobody's doing that. And Goodman saying, why be number two? Why not go ahead and do it? Let's lead the way. And so they laid those cornerstones, and then here comes Charlie Gaddy as a communicator about why those cornerstones matter. The cornerstones would have been here. I don't think this place, WRAL TV, Capital Broadcasting, would be the company it is, the leader in the country in local television production and local news, had Charlie Gaddy not been here. That's how important he was to this area, to this company, and to the business you and I have been in for decades.